Festival is this Saturday at the Lane Agri Park. You can be one of the judges and enjoy even more peach cobbler. There's enough peach cobbler for everyone. That's the second annual Peach Cobbler Festival this Saturday, 9 until 4 at the Lane Agri Park. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
This is CBS Rewind.
August 7th,
You know what he keeps telling me?
1941.
He keeps telling me I'm
The
dead.
release of the comedy,
I'm afraid you are. What?
Here Comes Mr. Jordan.
Dead?
It was remade twice.
Mr. Pendleton, you know where you are, don't you?
As Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty
I'm not supposed to be here.
and Down to
We
Earth,
got a new slogan.
starring Chris Rock.
Shot in the head, you get a bet. If your head is bloody, we're your buddy.
August 7th, 1992.
I ain't like that anymore, kid.
The nationwide release of the Western, Unforgiven,
Say what?
starring Clint Eastwood.
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm going to go back to being the way I was.
I'm Brendan Brooks.
Do not like assassins or men of low character.
And that's Rewind.
If you need last-minute hires in no time, you need Indeed. Their integrated hiring solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credits.
I'm Ken Coleman. Join me here on News Radio WGNS, weekdays live at noon, as we answer your questions about your calling, passion, and talent to maximize your potential.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Their Sharing Change has now donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits assisting worthy causes here in our community. That's MTE, serving to make life better since 1936. Well, it's time to talk Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation, and the man, the myth, the legend, Nate Williams joins us.
I don't know about that.
Well, it depends on where you read. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
How are things?
Good, man. It's we're in the throes of summer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Got this little heat spell going on. People are still out and about and using our facilities, but we'll see a little less patronage just because school's going back in. So I know kids are excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
My kids were ecstatic this morning.
I bet.
They were. All day yesterday just jumping for joy.
Well, it's the rest of the week. You know, used to you got, like a half day on a Thursday, and then you got a long weekend and went back. But now we just kind of roll right on into it.
Roll right in. And then roll through school traffic, too, which is you conveniently forget about for a couple months.
Yeah, boy, don't we?
Yeah.
I guess that changes maybe some pool hours or something.
Yeah, we switch. We do some afternoon hours, some modified afternoon hours at SportsCom. Of course, we still have Patterson that's open all the time. You can go in and swim, and it's a great time of year when people start thinking about looking forward to the end of the summer, start of fall. Try to get in some of our fitness facilities, get active, get moving, go to the senior center. Got a lot of stuff happening at the senior center and all over the place.
We had, I think, a full show on the senior center not that long ago, and boy, it just sounds like they've got things really hopping out there.
I tell you, I'm proud of all of our facilities, everything that we have to offer. But the senior center holds just a special spot. Mark Owens is the superintendent out there, and it's really created an environment that's just a lot of fun. One of our core uncompromising values that we maintain as a department is our facilities have to be clean, safe, and fun. So the Senior Center does a good job, just like the rest of them, as far as encapsulating that. And we have a survey out right now. If anybody's in any of our facilities, just take a few seconds and tell us what you think.
So how do you get?
You'll see signs up, and it's
okay.
a QR code.
Okay.
I think we tested it. It takes about 20 seconds to do the survey. So
that's a quick survey then.
It's a quick survey. We just want to make sure that our facilities are clean, safe, and fun. Because we've been trusted with a lot. Our community's invested a lot in parks and recreation facilities, so it's on us to maintain those and keep them at an optimal position to be able to serve the community, the people who reside in Murfreesboro, and the people who visit Murfreesboro.
I guess those are the questions that you're asking. Is it fun? Is it safe?
Yeah, so
clean?
It's a pretty simple survey. It's 3 questions. And it said, was this facility clean? Did you feel safe in this facility, and did you have fun in this facility? And then also it has a chance where you can provide other comments that we look forward to seeing as well.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure you're asking that for a particular reason. You want to make sure and see if there are areas to improve from people?
Yeah, we always have areas that we can improve in our programming, our special events, and then our facilities. We have such a huge swath of what we call Parks and Recreation now, that we want to just stay on top of it, make sure we're always engaging with the people who use our facilities.
Nate Williams is with us, Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. I see, all of the outdoor facilities have been really, really busy, and this summer has really been a pretty good summer. I know we've had some hot spells, but it hasn't been as hot as it could have been.
Yeah, it seems like it's been isolated to a couple of weeks. We've had some good weather, and I think people have really taken the opportunities to enjoy the pools, to enjoy our different areas, especially our camps. We offer, I think, over 40 camps over the course of the summer. And our staff just works so hard to make those fun and exciting and fresh every year, and they fill up within usually a couple of days. So, it's been a busy summer.
So is this kind of a time of transition, or do you have, like, fall leagues that are starting or anything like that?
So we pick up. I mean, every season is unique. We never have an off season. Even in the winter, people, usually find out you work for Parks and Recreation. They'll say, well, what do you do when the grass isn't growing, or something like that. But we stay busy all the way around. We're gearing up for our fall programs, our fall events, which we have a ton of, different athletic leagues that are starting up. So, yeah, it's just a new season for us. We just shift gears when kids go back into school, and we want to provide as much as we can at convenient times for people to be able to enjoy our facilities. We try to open up everything as early as we can and keep it open as long as we can. Like I've said many times, our council has been understands the benefit of what it means to the community of Parks and Recreation. Murfreesboro over the past 30 years has invested a lot more in recreation services than a lot of communities have had the opportunity to do. So we just try to manage it and provide more and more of the best we can, make Murfreesboro a great place to live, work, and play.
We're going to talk a little bit about Old Fort Park, but that first word, and then I thought about you, because aren't you a year older now?
I am a year older now, yeah. I'm not the young guy anymore, Brian.
I know.
I recently had to take a picture for something for City Hall, like a headshot. And the oldest one I had, I don't know, it was probably 8 years ago. And they said, do you want to use this one? And I was like, I mean, I like that version of Nate better, but we probably need to show one with less hair and a little bit more gray. Would probably be more accurate.
Understandable, boy. But Old Fort Park, you were telling me that there are a lot of really exciting things that are going on over there.
Old Fort Park is really our capstone park. It was the first big investment in the 70s in a big park, and it's something that we've done some facelifts over the years. We've, of course, replaced Kids Castle. We're excited. We got a few projects right now. The skate park is in the plans approval phase at City Hall right now, so staff is reviewing that. So it's been designed, and then we'll send that out to bid hopefully next month and get that going in the fall. We're excited about that project. That's going to be a lot of fun to have a skate park like that, and we had a lot of good community input on that and discussion, and I think we're going to be really proud of what we have to work with. A couple other things. We're renovating the original ball field out there. If you go in, the first thing on the left, so we need to replace the lighting, redo the field, and then also it'll address some of the stormwater issues we have with parking. I'm sure you've been around there forever. So when it rains, even when it doesn't rain, water sits in that parking lot for several weeks. So we're going to get that water out of there, make it a better playing surface, and something that we can really open up for the community. Have a good community field, use it for adult softball and stuff like that.
So it's going to have, I mean, you think about having just one ball field somewhere, it's like, what really can you do? And you got Starplex on the other side, but you can really do a lot of things with that, apparently.
It stays busy, especially we're going to go a synthetic turf so we can maximize the usability of it. So hopefully we'll be able to open it up to be able to rent for, maybe travel league teams and stuff like that, but have more just usage all the way around. And then the last thing we're doing as part of this facelift is we're redoing the original 8 tennis courts. We're renovating those, so we have a designer under contract to work on that, and hopefully come up with a great new setup out there.
Now that's the outdoor tennis courts you're talking about there?
Yeah, the original 8 courts that's right next to the pavilion.
That's kind of made, that is an area that at night especially, you see people there all the time. I mean, it's crawling with folks.
Yeah, tennis is very popular in our community. Old Fort Park's very popular.
Yeah.
We go to Kids Castle, any given time there's going to be families there. So, it's a very popular park. Of course, it serves as the gateway to the Adams Tennis Complex. It serves as kind of that gateway also the Old Fort Park golf course. So there's a lot of things happening right in the center of town. and we're proud of that park. We want to make sure we keep it, fresh and revitalized for generations to come.
So is tennis really happening there, or is it more pickleball than tennis now?
Well, there's both. I mean, tennis is a critically important sport. It has sustained years and years, so tennis is something that we're always working to try to make sure we're maximizing. But, pickleball's growing too. Pickleball's growing rapidly. We just recently opened up the courts at McFadden. There's some outdoor courts that are lit out there, so we've got some community courts. We're also we just redid the lights at Patterson Park on the community courts there, and are going to resurface that one very soon. So we understand the need for it, and we're always looking for opportunities to maximize what we have and just come up with the best uses that we can.
That seems to be the latest craze, and people are always where do they go and participate in that and get a group together. So I guess they can do that on those tennis courts.
Well, not really.
Not
I mean,
really?
Not right now. The tennis courts, you have to have it specifically marked for pickleball. In the Old Fort Park, we don't have that right now. So we're always looking and evaluating to make sure we're using our facilities and maximizing what we can. What's awesome is Monday through Friday between Patterson Park, Sportscom, and McFadden, there's always pickleball indoor opportunities. So people can play inside. You can go to our website, murfreesboroparks.com, and look at different schedules there. But yeah, there's just a great place to play typically all the time. We were always looking for, what it would look like to modify courts, add courts, or whatever we do to make that more accessible.
You've mentioned a lot of different facilities and whatnot, and one thing that popped into my mind is, someone has to be watchful over those, so when there's a toilet at Sportscom that needs to be fixed, or we need to resurface this, or some of the things that you've talked about. So who works on that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we have in-house maintenance staff that do a tremendous job staying on top of that. Our athletic staff really oversee kind of the surfacing and keep in mind what needs to be, renovations potentially need to come down the pipe. But we have a great in-house maintenance team that takes care of, 77 buildings, I think, that we have in Parks and Recreation. It's a lot that we have. And then what the city's done is they've created, we as a whole team have created a facilities maintenance group that works out of the Public Works Division. So when there's something that we might not have the expertise, be it electrical or HVAC, we can call on them, even though they're not within Parks and Recreation. But it's a group within the city that is eager to help us out so we can get that stuff done, quickly, in time. And if there's something that we have to outsource, they help us go from there. So it's a fun time to work for the city. Right now, it's just a lot going on. There's great people that we get to work with across the board, across the departments. We get to work with the police and the fire department a lot with a lot of our events and stuff, and we're always thankful to be able to have that partnership and relationship with them.
Yeah.
And it's the same with other departments, Public Works, with Development Services. It's just fun to see how Parks gets to play a role in the bigger picture for the city's goal. Those
relationships or being able to have those conversations, not to say that it hasn't always been there, but it's streamlined, made it a lot easier to work across departments, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel like the city of Murfreesboro, I've been here for quite some time. I've seen it evolve a lot. But just right now, I think we've got a lot of great people in place where, just from my worldview, my perspective, I can, call and get an engineer on the phone pretty quickly to get some advice, or get somebody's advice on some construction issues or legal advice. We have just a really good team that we get to work with at a core level that help us really just see the big picture for what the city is and what it does, and just how Parks and Recreation fits into that role of making us be able to achieve our overall goal as a city.
Some of that work at Old Fort Park, is it going on now? Is it planned for the future? What are you looking at there?
Yeah, so it's going to happen. Everything's funded. Like I said, Skate Park will be going to bid probably next month, and then the other two are in design phase right now. So that'll get rolling. It'll take several months to really get those designed as we go through the process. But yeah, it's happening. Another thing that we're excited about that's funded is some outdoor improvements at Patterson Park Community Center. We're going to be addressing some of the parking and access issues that we have out there. I'm sure you've been to Patterson, especially when we have several things going on. It's hard to find a place to park. So we're going to be adding a new playground and then adding a spray ground as part of that too for the kids in the summer to be able to utilize. So we'll need some more parking for that, and that's another one that we've got contracted to design and start working on now.
Oh, good. Well, it looks like you've gone to several of the existing facilities and just thought, what are ways that we can improve and, making the Patterson Park even greater outside, give some opportunities there. So,
yeah, I think that's been, over the past 5 years, we've taken just kind of not a pause on developing new things. We're constantly, adding things to the park system. But strategically, we've been thinking how we might be able to improve our existing facilities and seeing how we need to address HVAC systems or chillers or, that type of stuff, and try not to oversee that type of daily operation stuff to make sure we have, our department running at a full clip.
Yeah. Well, fall also, I'm sure it's going to bring a lot of soccer out to Siegel Soccer Complex.
Yeah, we were running numbers for our budget and just kind of analyzing, but there's no secret as to why it happened. But our revenue number for Siegel Soccer Complex was 991% higher than the previous record year as far as direct rental revenue from people coming in and using it. So we got some big things in the works out there, some unique opportunities to host things that I don't think a couple years ago we couldn't have ever imagined, but it's thriving. People are using it and finding just, a good groove out there. And we're excited to see some of that stuff that's coming in that has such a benefit to Murfreesboro. When these huge tournaments come in over the weekend, that's, several $1 million in economic impact because they're eating at our restaurant, shopping here, and then staying in our hotel. So it's a cool thing to have, and we're excited to have it.
Not the FIFA World Cup or anything, though.
I won't rule it out, but I'm just joking.
Well, Nate, the website is just really a great place to go and get started. If you're new to the area, want to find out more about Murfreesboro Parks and Rec, website's great.
MurfreesboroParks.com, very simple. We're looking and tweaking our brand just a little bit and how people see Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. We're excited some of the stuff that's coming out on that, but we always appreciate you letting us come on and talk to your listeners. And like I said, always go to MurfreesboroParks.com for the most up-to-date information.
Absolutely. Nate Williams joining us today with Murfreesboro Parks and Rec. And don't forget, check the podcast at WGNSradio.com to listen back.
Hello, this is Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. Often when a man or woman finish pre-planning their funerals with me, I hear, "We should have done this 10 years ago." Or, "I thought about doing this years ago, but just never got around to it." Seems that we often put off the inevitable for ourselves. As one wise pastor put it, it's never too late to do what's right. Why not mark down on your calendar to call me to talk about your funeral needs at 615-893-2422. It's never too late.
A moment now to look at today's obituaries. Gary Stephen Wilson of Mount Juliet, age 70, passed away July the 31st. He grew up the apple of his mother's eye, a much beloved big brother to his sister, a lovable Uncle Buck to his nephew and niece, and a great friend to all who knew him. He was a veteran of the United States Air Force. Gary inherited his father's sense of humor and enjoyed both spinning stories and collecting them. He loved a good joke and delighted in learning and showing off magic tricks. He had music in his soul and happily shared that passion with anyone wanting to learn or willing to sit and talk about the great Johnny Winter or Muddy Waters. He was preceded in death by his parents,